Welcome to another episode of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, the show that asks the questions that you should be asking but may not be asking, the show that enables you so that you can make more informed decisions for both you and your family. Today on our show, we will be discussing the difference of country living versus city life. If you're like most people, you probably live in the city, so you know what city life is all about. The fast pace, the everyday crimes, the drama, the stress, the bills. Every time you turn around, it's something new. And sometimes you leave your work to go home, and there's more stress waiting at home for you. Stress leads to different diseases that causes death. So stress is something that we should really be trying to avoid in our everyday life. But city life doesn't give us that opportunity most of the time. Country life, however, does. And today we're going to be looking at some of the benefits of country living and some opportunities that there are available for those that wants to live in the country. Being independent, being self-sufficient is a major success in everyone's life. Country living makes that very possible. And we know that when you live in the city versus when you live in the country, the air that you breathe is so much different. So much different. One of the benefits of country living is the fact that you can own your own home for less. A study shows that between 30 to 80% less of what it costs in city life is what you're paying for country life. So country living can cost you a whole lot less than city life. You can own your own home between 30 to 80% less. And that means that you can save up money to buy your home and have no mortgage payments. Country life also offers a lower cost of living, meaning the less you have, the less you can afford, the less you pay for, the less you spend, such as food, clothing, utilities. Think about it. Some of the things that we have, do we really need them? Study shows that if you spend more than 30 days with something and you have not used it, you don't really need it. You're just harboring it for your own purpose, but you have no use for it. So there's a lot of things that we have, extraordinary comforts that we really don't need, but we spend so much money on those things. Country life help us remove those things, those obstacles from our lives. There's more space, more land space in country living. You plant your own organic food, no pesticides or preservatives, your daily outdoor exercise without air pollution, the experience of nature at its best, the animals, the trees, the lakes, the waterfalls, a peaceful and quiet environment, life simplicities make things so much better. That's country living. There's something called vitamin G, which stands for energy, which stands for greenery. Trees and plants, which the country life offers, natural air filter, which fights against air pollution and thus defeating asthma and heart disease. A study done at University of Michigan found that the brain is less able to retain information or control impulses by spending just a few minutes on a crowded city streets. Amazing, isn't it? And you wonder why you can't remember anything most of the times. Well, this is why. It's city life. There's fewer psychological problems also in country living. According to the Journal of Schizophrenia Bulletin, they did a study. They did about 10 studies, and through their studies, they found that country life avoids the risk of schizophrenia. They also found that more than 1/3 of schizophrenic cases are due to the city life. And we see that again. The city life, because of the stress factors, causes a lot more people to become schizophrenic. This is very sad. How about anxiety disorders? Science shows that 90% of anxiety disorders and memory loss have a lot to do with the environment of city living. The same study found that a green environment can also relieve stress and depression. Are you depressed? Well, have you ever considered going to the park and just enjoy nature for a few minutes? It's amazing what nature can do. Just by you sitting there for a few minutes, you tend to not think about so much on your problems, and stress will naturally go away just from being in nature at the park for a few minutes. But if you lived in the country, imagine that life. How about the crime rates? According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics annual National Crime Victimization Survey, they found that the violence, the crimes are lower by 1/3 in country living than city life. What about the rapes, the murders, the drugs, the killings, and so much more? Wouldn't you rather live in the country where you're not so much at risk of these crimes? Your children, it's like it's a win-win situation from the way that I see it. Those are just a few of the benefits of country living. However, it takes a lot of work. Our children, for example, is another benefit. Study shows that their behaviors are better due to the lack of toxins and GMO products, the negative influence. They're more obedient and respectful. They know how to use the natural resources that are available to them, so they would learn to work harder with their hands, and they become very creative. They are privileged to use their minds more because there's no internet. Therefore, they have to read and they have to study. They also show that country living helps in the aspect of education, because homeschooling really helps our children to learn even more. Some of the challenges of country living are water supplies, electricity, and septic. So on this show, we're going to share with you some opportunities that exist if you want to live a peaceful life. For the water supplies, unless you know how to dig a well by yourself, it gets pretty expensive to dig a well or to set up a well system where you live. It costs between $4,000 to $15,000 to get that set up. And that depends on if it's hard soil or soft soil. It normally costs about $100 per digging per square foot. So we see that if your soil is harder, it's going to take a little longer to dig. So that can cost between $4,000 to $15,000 depending on the soil. We also see electricity. There are 6 types of electricity available for country living. There's solar electricity, which is the most common. There are generators also, which is also common. And there are some generators that utilizes solar power so that you don't have to buy the gas to put in the generators. There's wind electricity, which uses a wind turbine. There's ground electricity, which is a pipe that is buried in the ground to collect heat that radiates and provides energy. There's biomass, which is wood-fueled heating system, and that only provides heat electricity. There's also hydroelectricity, which uses running water from a small stream or a river to generate electricity. Again, these can cost some serious money unless you know how to do these yourselves. There's also the septic system. The average cost of a septic system is between $5,000 to $8,000, and that depends on the size that you select. However, there's also something called the thermopile system, which turns waste into safe compost. To assist you with these costs, there is a website that I would advise you to go to, and it's www.dsireusa.go. Again, that's www.dsireusa.go. sa.go. There are several great opportunities there that you can benefit from. And this website actually helps as far as country living. If you're trying to move out to the country, as far as help is concerned, this is the website to go to. And you can find so much help at that site. And you can see so many other opportunities that you can benefit from for country living. When it comes to country living, there are websites that are strictly designed, or grants that are strictly designed to assist those that wants to live in the country. When you're looking for assistance, I have to tell you, do not go to Google, because Google will give you people that will charge you for their services. When you are looking for great opportunities, I suggest that you go to a website with .gov, a website with .org, or a website with .go. So you don't want to Google when you need assistance. You want to go to .gov, .org, or .go. This is where you get free assistance from, especially for country living. IDA program is the Individual Development Account. This account is an account that you open with the bank where they match whatever you put down. Now, each bank has a minimum amount that they ask for. So if you put $1,000, the bank will match your $1,000 only for the sake of businesses. Not every bank offers this program, so you do have to do some legwork. Go to your local banks and find out which ones offer this program, and this will help you to start your business. And if you know it's going to take you 6 months, each month, put a little deposit, put whatever you can put for your business. You need to find out how much it's going to cost you also to start your business. So when you put your money, the bank can match your money. If you need $2,000, for example, you put $1,000, the bank puts $1,000, that's $2,000. And this is not a loan. This is not something that you have to pay back. This is a grant for your business, for your independent living. So when you move to the countryside and you want to live happy, you don't want to depend on the government, you want to be self-efficient, start your business. Live in the country. The stresses of life doesn't have to bother you or your family. When we look at the differences between country living and city living, we see how more beneficial it is for us to go to the country and live the way that God intended for us to live, peacefully, not the way that city life offers, but the life of peace for both us and our children. We can enjoy nature in its most distinctive ways. We can enjoy fresh air and fresh food. Imagine going to your backyard and just picking out a mango or picking out an apple without the pesticides and enjoying it every day, you know, and this is of your own doing. You did this yourself. And every time you pick one of your fruits or one of your vegetables that you planted, you know that you are actually enjoying something that is free from GMO products. When you plant your food, you don't have to take it from the ground immediately either. The ground is a natural source of keeping your food safe. You don't have to pick the food and put it in the refrigerator. In the ground, it's already safe. If you pick your food, however, and you don't need it right away, you can bury it back in the ground and it will keep it from going bad. It's a kind of preservation. It's a safe preservation without going to put it in the fridge. You put it in the ground and you save it for a couple of days. This is nature at its best. So if you don't have refrigeration in your country living, you have nature. And this is the way that we should be living, not with all the GMO products, but the way that God intended. When you go outside and you lay on the ground, you lay on the grass, you experience the skies and all the stars naturally. When you look around and you look at the beauties of the trees and the animals chirping, the birds chirping in your hearing, this is music to the hearing. This is nature at its best. This is the way that you experience all the beautiful natural furnitures of nature, the way Adam and Eve did back in the Garden of Eden. What are you waiting for? Country living. Country living is highly recommended to prevent stress, high blood pressure, heart attacks, and so much more. Country living is what we strive for here at Don't Ask, Don't Tell. If you need the help, we have provided the assistance for you. Please look into those sites and help someone else. Share with them the sites that we've shared with you so that they can also benefit from the opportunities that exist. For another episode of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, until next time, take care. Thank you.